Hello everybody, it's me Roscoe and welcome to the return of Game Day, and we're arrived at a very windy Preston North End here in Lancashire as Town take on the Lily Whites in the Championship, looking to bounce back after last week's FA Cup defeat. I'm here at the Sir Tom Finney statue doing his iconic slide tackle in the water and all that, and we're going to get right in there, find out the media scran food, look at the team news, and let's see if Kieffer Moore makes his second Town debut. Let's get right into it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now inside the ground. My accreditation is on. I've had a cup of tea, a very cheap cup of tea indeed. That was very nice. But I have to admit, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably my 100th take. I'm having a bit of a mare with my talking today, and that shouldn't be happening because I stopped over last night, had a lovely breakfast, had a nice sleep. The boys are currently on their way, Stu and AJ, as I travelled up separately. Came with Liam from Crew and Paul, part of the Northern Coway Battalion. And yeah, this speaking lark is not working for Roscoe at the moment, but we're here at a quiet Deepdale. The turnstiles are not open just yet, but there'll be over 3,000 Town away fans. Can't wait for that. Of course, Town and Preston played back in October, a 4-2 win for Town at Porton Road. That was a thrilling game. Hopefully the same today. I've gone for a 3-1 Town win, so hopefully that is the case today. Let's get right into it, and I've finally done this take. Happy days. Okay then, the food is in the belly and Deepdale is a bit more lively now. The Town fans are in, the players are warming up, and that media scran was solid. Top notch from Preston North End. I want to give it an 8 out of 10. A bit of protein, a bit of veg, my 5 a day. Lovely, jubbly indeed. And the team news has just dropped, and it's pretty much what I expected it was going to be. Jezza starts, Jackson leads the line, and the two new signings are on the bench. Kieffer Moore set for his second Town debut. It'll be interesting to see if he can score. But let's get right into it. I'm going to go and get my snappy snaps, get in my position. Let's see how Town do. Defeat here at Deepdale as the Blues have lost 3-2 against Preston. Will Keane back to haunt us with 2 goals. But Kieffer Moore, a brace on his debut. But Mia Wazza, I think we just had too much work to do, didn't we? Even though that there was a little glimpse on it, like, oh, could be. But yeah, overthoughts, man.
Yeah, like you say, just gave ourselves too much to do after what was a really, really poor first half. I mean, we were 2 down, I think it was in 10 minutes. It's just, it gives yourself a mountain to climb even at that point, and then they get the third. We just didn't really look at it in that first half whatsoever. I mean, I'm happy they showed a bit of fight in the second half. I mean, that's always what you want. I think, you know, like you said there, Kieffer Moore's got 2. He does look dangerous. He might give us a little bit of impetus sort of going forward. But I suppose, yeah, it was that first half killed us. That first half absolutely killed us. And fair play to Preston. Took the chances. So, yeah, we just got to go again, I suppose. But it's a difficult one. You know, sees us drop down the table, which is always a daunting one. Granted, I know it's easy to say with all taking at the start of the season, all that. But it is still deflating, isn't it, when you lose a couple of positions? So, go again. Go again.
What do you think? What went wrong in that first half, do you reckon? Obviously, McKenna had a word at half-time. Of course, he brought the Kieffer Moore on. I think that's what we were lacking in, that physicality up top, I felt.
Yeah, I felt like there was no real focal point. You know Jackson's going to work hard, but he's not going to hold the ball up. I don't really feel like it was a Jackson sort of game. I feel like Preston, as much as they do have some good players in their team, like Miller, I think he's an absolute baller. We know Will Keane's got quality on the ball. They do also have some big lads, at the back. And I just feel like it wasn't a game that suited Jackson. We needed that focal point. I also felt we were second to everything. We just couldn't seem to get anything to stick, and pretty much everything that could go wrong went wrong, really, didn't it? You know, there's the Edmondson own goal, but he's got to make the tackle, else the bloke scores. The first goal, I personally thought was a foul, but once it's not the foul, you've got to track that, and they just didn't get back to it. Everything went wrong, really, Ross. Yeah. Absolute car crash football, weren't it? But
at least this team, once again, they show they don't give up, and they got those 2 goals, and you just felt potentially, could this be a late equaliser here? This ball's going in the box, and Preston defending for their lives.
We started that second half really well, didn't we? Davis hit the post with that free kick, then you get the goal back. Maybe if there was 5 more minutes, ifs, buts and maybes in it. But, like you say, take the positives out of the second half. We looked really good in that second half. I think Al-Hamadi made a little cameo, looked a handful. Obviously, when Moore got his second, he was also throwing himself in the box. Just got to try and replicate that second half more often than you do the first, and you'll be all right, won't you? But, yeah,
We move on, my friend.
It's a disappointing one, Rossi.
Yeah.
It's a disappointing
Long way
one.
home as well.
A lot of us are, 3,500 have made a 5-hour drive either way and go home with nothing. It's a disappointing one at the end of the day, but that's football. That's football. I don't know what the next game is, but
West Brom at home, Portman Road.
oh bloody hell,
So that's another
that's
tough
not
one.
easy.
No.
But still, play like you did the second half, be all right. Just got to get bouncing onto that now, ain't we? Hopefully, we need to put another run together. We really need another run like we went on last season, off the back of that Bristol game. Hopefully, we really wanted there to be a reaction after the Maidstone game. There wasn't in the first 45 minutes. Hopefully, there'll be a reaction to sort of back-to-back defeats, because we don't do it very often, do we? So, yeah, hopefully we can pick ourselves up, dust ourselves down. Week on the training ground with the new boys, get ourselves going again. Got to do that. Yeah. What else can you do?
Good man. What's up, man? Cheers,
Up
bud.
town.
Well, what a surprise this is. Mike is up next. Normally at the end of the video.
I'm cold. I want to go home.
Fair enough, mate. Thoughts on that one?
Was that pork cooked?
Yeah, it's very nice, guys. You saw that at the start of the video. I'm a bit hungry now, though. Am I pig?
Why don't we get any of that rubbish in here?
That'd be a lot of work for them.
Pork and mash.
Yeah, it's lovely. But yeah,
Pork and mash rhymes.
I need to check my.
Pork and mash rhymes with a car crash, and that's what we played like. It was a bloody car crash.
In the first half,
Yeah,
especially.
Edmondson was driving it. He was driving the bus. No one was wearing a seatbelt, and it was a complete car crash.
Yeah.
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 The only hope of us getting back in that game was the substitutes at half-time, and then that free kick that hit the post and went right across the goal line
Yeah, Liv
in front of
Davis.
the goal. If that had gone in, then it might have been a different
Game on.
game. But 2 goals, well, we've seen our new strikers. We could see that, yeah, they've got better qualities than the ones we've had, or ones we've still got in the building. I'd have driven him to Derby. I won't mention his name.
I think they all know. All the viewers do know a certain man who played up top.
Jesus Christ, what a car crash.
Yeah.
The passing was lethargic, it was slow, it
Second
was
everything, weren't we?
inaccurate, it was all over the place, and it was just really, really sad to watch. And all the expectations, the away end was absolutely buzzing.
I love a start.
Even
Balloons
after
going
the-
up and everything.
Yeah,
Love that.
after the first goal, we're like, it's Will Keane. You know what I mean?
Typical.
Which I had a bet on, and he actually came in, so I knew he was going to score. And then the second one, Edmondson again kicking it in. Edmondson, like, he could have scored 3.
Yeah, other end, please, Fridge. Other end, please.
Where's Burgess back?
He'll be back hopefully for West Brom. Obviously, yeah, Australia out.
Thank
So
God for that.
congratulations.
We need somebody who doesn't.
But Fridge is done okay in January.
He thinks he's a bloody midfielder, doesn't he? He's down the pitch.
Yeah.
What's he doing? That Maidstone game is his fault, because he was down the pitch, losing it, and not marking the man. If he was defending, they wouldn't have scored. Not on them 2 chances, not on hell. But no, he's like, I want to play up front with you guys. The ball is boring at the back.
Yeah.
And
There was a few
there.
moments where I was like, once ago, I think when it was maybe still 3-0, and Vads had to basically somehow, I don't know how it didn't go in. It could've
I
been-
don't know how it went. Didn't go in either.
Yeah.
Should have been 4-0. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, light's gone off.
It should have been. That's poor. Well, I'm looking forward to West Brom in the playoffs, right? Because we are going to finish 4th,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And I think West Brom are going to be 5th out there, so it's going to be home and away against West Brom. So hopefully we'll actually turn up at West Brom this time,
Yeah.
and we'll see next week. You know, a little experiment, see how good West Brom are on the road when we play them.
Well, of course, they've
get your
they've
tickets
still got
now.
to come, yeah.
Playoff semis against West
call
Brom,
it.
and then we're probably playing Hull in the final. Because Leeds don't like Hull.
No, Yorkshire clubs and all that jazz. Mike, okay, mate. Any other thoughts?
Not really. It's rubbish.
All right, see you later, mate.
It was positive at the end.
Yeah, Kieffer Moore scoring
Yeah,
2.
our 2 new strikers, that's positive.
Yeah.
And they brought a lot of energy to the front line. But that was awful. And I'm going home.
So, journeyman. Someone a bit different now, from Mike to Liz. Always a pleasure to see you. We actually spoke in pre-season when we were here. This is our 2nd time we've been at Deepdale this year. Pre-season is pre-season, minutes and legs and stuff. Today, 3 points on the line, and Town lost 3-2. Thoughts on that?
Well, the first half was obviously a bit of a disaster, but when we play like that, that's the kind of risks you're going to take, and sometimes it's going to work and sometimes it's not. So I feel for Fladke. He's had such a brilliant season, hasn't he? He's been so good with his feet. So, a mistake is a mistake, and when it's there, then that's always going to be the result, sadly. And Edmondson as well was Player of the Month in January, wasn't he? So he maybe didn't have the best of first halves today. Obviously, it wasn't necessarily his fault; it deflected in off him. But I'm not sure where he was for the goal, where he was a bit behind play. But again, that's it. Everybody goes forward, doesn't it? I don't know, it's the way we play. But at least the second half was better.
Yeah.
Hey?
I think at half time, I was saying to a few people like, Kieffer Moore surely's got to come on. Like, when you're 3-0 down, you want to bring on a Premier League quality striker, and Kieffer Moore came on and 2 goals on his second debut for Town.
I'm going to have to say I was surprised because he doesn't normally make any changes before 60 minutes, does he? Like 58 maybe. So I was pleased when he came on. It made a huge difference, didn't it? It gave us a focal point more, and we seemed to have more energy all over the pitch anyway. So I think all the changes worked well. 3-2, at the end we had a couple more chances, didn't we? Omari Hutchinson, I think, had a chance. Kieffer Moore had another chance. So it could have easily been a draw. It wasn't. But, that's the way it goes. And, they're not the best of teams, but they beat Leeds recently, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it's not as if they can't beat good sides here. So anyway, one of those days. Yeah. This is the third time I've seen them play Preston this season. So, at least on the whole, we've done well.
Finally, we're joined by Liam from Crew, my companion.
Driver.
It was a good little trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the trip.
Of course, we're talking about before the game.
Yeah, the hotel was nice, and it's been a nice day. Just football was disappointing.
Yeah, the 90 minutes of football. Yeah, yeah.
That's the only takeaway we can kind of give. It was a nice weekend. We'd go home and we'll go again next weekend, I guess. But
yeah,
I don't want.
Lots been said. Sorry to interrupt. I don't normally interrupt, ladies and gentlemen. Normally I'm a polite young man, but of course a lot's been said. But let's try to cover it in bullet points now. Let's start with the first half because we've got to. 3-0 down, mate. Where were you at?
Well,
3-0 down.
I'm going to start before the game.
Okay.
I think
the team selection?
McKenna maybe got it wrong. I mean, a lot of people did say that Jackson was going to start, and I can see why he started. Yeah. But from the way the game panned out, Jackson away from home has been used as that pressing forward who puts pressure on the defenders, and I get that, but Preston are not a team that are going to go press high, so there's no room for him to run in, and we just didn't have anything going first half. Everything was just basically bouncing off him, and they got the ball back. So if we had maybe started with Moore, maybe I understand why he didn't, because he's only come in the door one day, he's got to get up to speed, but you could see the difference in the second half. We had someone to hold the ball up and actually occupy the defenders. But looking at the first half, basically, they couldn't pass to each other. I mean, let's get that out of the way. I'm going to make a comment about the passing from the back. I know that Town will live or die by the sword, and that they're going to carry on passing out from the back, and that's fine. But for me, in that moment, Vass can see that there is not a pass to Morsey there, and for me, I wouldn't have been too bothered if he had just put his foot through it and just cleared it, because there was nothing on. So there was no point trying to play out from that moment. So for me, they've just got to use a little bit of common sense sometimes, I think.
Sorry, I'm trying to interrupt again. It's the second time in a row, Liam. I don't mean to do this. We've got cameraman Paul just nodding his head. I'm trying to think why.
We've had an argument about this.
They said,
I don't. Oh, here we go. I don't agree with that because Vass plays those passes all the time. They don't always go wrong. So I don't agree with that. I think live by the sword, die by the sword. How often have we conceded goals like that? But we've also scored goals coming from the back. Say Burns' goal against Coventry started at the back. I don't just do it. If you goals like that happen by playing out from the back. Yeah, he can see it, but he smashes it up, smashes it to Jackson, doesn't win a header, it comes back anyway. So, sorry, I'm not looking where the camera is.
It's just me, just us like going, yeah. But Paul, thanks for that cameo. Fair point.
But,
yeah. Opinions.
And I do get that point. But for me, I just thought at that moment in time, they could have just maybe have got rid of the ball. And yes, okay, if the ball comes back, but Town have got a chance then to obviously be in place to defend that. Whereas trying to play out from the back when there was no options, I know they play on the edge, and most of the time it's worked. But in that time, Morsey was well marked there that there wasn't a pass there. For me, just get it out, and we'll do it again in 5 seconds later when the ball comes back to Vass again, and then try it again if there's a bit more space. But for me, from that moment, just get rid of it. But it doesn't deflect the fact that the whole first half performance, they were just second best to everything. It was like they were almost running with lead in their shoes. It literally, Preston, who I didn't think, even though they were 3-0 up, didn't think they were that...
We gave them the goals, didn't we, really? Yeah.
Our first goal, people said to me there's a foul on Morsey. I mean, this might be controversial, but I thought he just got slightly out-muscled, and again, it maybe wasn't defended great, but Will Keane wasn't thinking he was going to score that, and he's got a lucky deflection and it's rolled into the corner. The second one, I called offside from that moment, but no one else seemed to, and as Paul behind the camera here said to me 2 seconds later, well, no one put the hands up for offside, so maybe that gives you an indication that the players didn't think it was. But looking at some of the things I've seen on social media, it was probably a tight one. So I'm not going to call out the officials for that, because if it was tight, then it's a 50-50 call. Second half, much better. Kieffer Moore made a massive difference, as he does.
I think straight away as well. Just straight away, even in the first little moment he had a little glimpse of getting near the ball, was like, this is just a change-up and we're going to get back in this game.
Yeah, I did actually think that first 5 minutes when we were really going for it, and then obviously Leif Davis with that great free kick. I mean, the keeper completely, he thought he was going, and then he was completely done. And the luck, there was we didn't deserve the luck in the first half. We were poor, but the luck in the game has fallen for Preston, because it's deflected first goal, and obviously it's hit the post there. If we had scored from then and had a bit more time, then who knows what would have happened, because you saw them, especially in that last 10 minutes, even at 3-1, and they still had those 2 goals as a gap, they were still sitting deeper and deeper and deeper, and it was just constant waves of attack. And we just ran out of time. So, but I suppose the positive we can take from it is it was a better second half. We really almost snatched a point from probably not deserving one after that first half. So we've just got to take that momentum into next week and just try now. And people keep saying that we're on the poor run of form, but this is only, our second defeat in that time? I know we've drawn a lot of games, but we're finding, teams are finding it hard to beat us. We just, where we weren't at the start of the season, where we were winning games and we were scoring more, at the moment we're obviously not scoring enough now to either turn the games around and win them. So, but look, we're all here. No one expected us to be in this position. We'll carry on fighting for that second place. But if it ends up being playoffs, then it'll be playoffs. Whatever will be, and we'll just carry on going and see what the end of the season comes. But next week's a big game against West Brom now, so we're just got to clear our heads and go into next week, and hopefully if we can get a good result against West Brom at home, which I don't see why we can't, then there's a decent run of games now where we could maybe get back a bit of momentum like we did last season, and hopefully that game on Easter Monday against Southampton remains something big for still looking at trying to sneak that second spot. But it's just, that's football, isn't it?
We move on, don't we?
It's football, isn't it?
It is football.
You win some, you lose some.
Always,
so.
mate. Well, we must head back to Suffolk. I won't be here for the next game, though. No game day for West Brom. So, hopefully Town get that win there. But thanks for watching Game Day. Liam, my friend, thank you very much. Paul, behind the camera, thanks for getting involved. Little cameo. let's hit the road. See you next time. Bye for now.